so this example here is just basically showing the whole notion of abstract classes, the use of super and so forth like that. Okay. And Mr. Bond, if you ever feel like asking a question or anything, by all means do so. Okay, so your package here will have a class with main in it. So what we need to do is obviously set up a structure of other classes. Okay, so I'm going to use the tried and trusted one of doing animal and so forth like that. So we have at the top a class called animal. Okay, and keeping it very simple. Okay, I will have private string name, private, and I'll just do, okay, private string string, okay, origin, just for argument's sake, or origin, in other words, the place wherever it came from. Okay, so obviously we've got those two things there. Now obviously if we wanted then, what was it going to say, insert our code, so our constructor, okay, I'll do all variants of it and generate. So we have one constructor there which takes in, what was it going to say, the name, and obviously we want another one that, what was it going to say is that if we wanted another one, obviously what was it going to say, we could do insert code, constructor, and obviously do name and origin. Okay, now once we have, sorry, yeah,
The question: once you've done, you set up a variable,
yeah,
you make two variables private,
yep,
and then set up constructor, and this is referring to the name from private string name.
exactly. Okay, so when I use the constructor from main and I do it with one argument, it's going to be written to every instance using this. Okay, now the important point about this is, which you, excuse the pun, is that every time you create an instance or an object of animal type, which I'll do in a few seconds, is that it writes it to this instance of it. Okay, so it will do it into that instance, right? So what I'm actually going to do now, okay, is obviously we can put in the toString and everything like that. But what I'm going to do here is put in public void noise. Okay, this is a method. Okay, it's a method. Okay, and all I'm going to do here, system dot out dot print ln animal noise. Okay, animal noise. Now, so basically what was I going to say, this is a public method and it can be inherited by any of the classes. So what I'm actually going to do here now, very, very simply, is I'm going to create a subclass of this. Okay, Java, and we're going to call this, let's just say, bird. Okay, right, straight away, okay, inherits, what was I going to say, sorry, I used the wrong thing there. What should be the word, Mr. Bond?
Public class, but
Extends. Okay. What about an interface?
Oh, I don't. Sorry, I don't
Implements.
know.
Implements interface. Okay.
So hold on. What you've done there, you've made a class bird that extends animal. So
yep.
So which are you calling animal the interface?
No.
No. Okay.
If I have an interface, right? Okay, which I'll do in a few minutes time. If I do an interface, and if I want to use that interface in a class, right, rather than using the keyword extends, it's implements. Okay, if animal was an interface, okay, it would be public class bird implements animal. Okay,
right.
Now we're getting a problem here. Okay, we must add the constructor because public class bird extends animal, but we can't use the default constructor for bird because when we construct an animal, when we construct a bird, we also construct an animal. So what we need to do, okay, is add the constructor, at least one constructor that corresponds back to the animal. Now, this is where the word super comes in. Okay? If you have a subclass that corresponds to a constructor in the parent class, okay, we've only got two constructors here. We've got one that brings in one argument for name, and we've got one that brings in two arguments for name and origin. So by default, we've got rid of the default constructor. Now I could have done this, okay, public animal, okay, point, and okay. Now that is the default constructor, okay? Well, not default, but it's taken the place of the default constructor. And if I went back into bird, okay, and if I actually got rid of this, I've no problem, because now it will correspond with the with this constructor in animal. Okay, what I'll actually do, and this is always a good system. It's always a good practice to get into. But you system.out.print ln in the no args constructor. Okay, now I just leave it at that for a moment. Constructor in an email. Okay, whoops, in animal.
Which way would you recommend? Like which way?
Sorry.
Which way would you recommend? Like the public animal way, or the one where you have the superclass?
That is the superclass now, right? But if you are correspond, right? I'll just do something here now, okay? If I go into bird, okay, public class bird, and even if I do this, okay, public bird, and go to here. Okay, I still need, okay, public bird by right. Okay, what this will do is Control V in bird. Now, okay, so I have two objects created. Okay, I have two kind of classes created. So what I'm going to do here is just very, very quickly, okay, bird A is equal to new bird. Okay, right. So that will create an instance of a new bird. Okay, if I run that, okay, this is the point that is the important point. In the noargs constructor in animal, and then it goes into the noargs constructor in bird. Okay, so its chain of execution is that when you create a new bird, you are actually creating an animal first, and then creating an instance of bird. Okay, now if I had done it this way, okay, if I had done bird, and let's just say if you have a second constructor, okay, copy, and just go down to here and Control V, and say string name, okay, even if I call it string, okay, and even if I call it, let's just say HOH, right, and if I did this, okay, super HOH, right? What it does here is this. Super is looking for the parent class, the class just right above it. So what this will do is that it will start looking for the one constructor in animal that has one argument, which is a string. So we know, okay, so if I do this here, okay, if I just in the one arg constructor and bird, and if I go into animal here, and okay, if I go into this, and if I go into here, you must do it after, okay, Control V, system into one arg and animal. Okay, actually just 2 seconds there. Oh yeah, no wonder. Get rid of that. In animal. Okay, So just change one small thing there. So, right, and just to show what, and I'll explain a tiny bit here now. So if I go to here, bird A is equal to new bird, and if I just say, okay, put in the string ERT and run this, okay, in the one args constructor and animal, in the one args constructor and bird. So what actually happens is this: it takes this, and it actually goes into bird first of all, and it says, hold on a second, I'm calling up a constructor because it sees the word super, and it goes there then, and it takes the string HOH. Now I could have done, okay, I could have done it as like this, super, okay, I'm nearly certain this super dot, hold on, it won't actually, I'll need to feed it in by constructor because I can't actually see the variables at the moment. Now obviously if I put in getters and setters I will be able to, right? But that's okay, just the constructors. But the question that was asked too was also is new Java class, and let's just say this is excuse me, is dog. Okay, dog. Okay, now public abstract class dog. Now you don't even need to extend it. Okay.
When you use abstract, what exactly is the class
Okay.
dog?
What I'll actually show you is this. Okay, is as follows. Okay. Public. Let's just say void bark. Okay. Okay. Now. Okay. Just want to check something here. Missing method, but oh yes. Didn't know it would ask that, but it does. Okay. See line 14 there?
Yeah.
Okay. What's missing from a normal method that should be at least here? Okay, behind this bracket anyway. I'll show you. These two bucko boys. Okay?
Oh.
Right? Now, here's the thing, right? Even though there's no code in here, right? This is a concrete method. It will do something. Okay? Now, I'll just go back to the way it was. Okay? Public abstract bark, right? Is there code? Is there actually any code here for this? In this method? Is there actually kind of process? No, none. Right? Now, you might say to yourself, what's the whole point about this? Okay, I'll show you exactly. Here is public void walk. Okay, the dog walks. Okay, now notice, okay, just one thing here. Method, right? Right? And this one here is what would be suggested as okay? Right, now
Method because code, some sort of code is.
There's no code at the moment for the abstract method, okay? Essentially it is that abstract, you can have concrete methods in there, but typically 9 times out of 10 is that an abstract class is something that we want in the hierarchy, that we do want some of the code right here, but we're not so sure of all of it, so we're actually going to leave. Yes, we should have a method called bark, but we don't know how it will operate. Okay? And yeah?
You're going to inherit from the abstract.
Yes, exactly. What I'm going to do here now is actually show how all this will be done. Is new Java class, and I'm going to call this, let's just say, collie. Okay? Right, here's the thing. Extends dog. Okay? Now, collie is not abstract and does not override abstract method bark in dog. Right? What this basically means is as follows, is that the compiler has rightly found out that basically collie extends dog. Dog has an abstract method called bark. So if I want to get everything else from dog, what I must do is implement all abstract methods, is I must make, okay, the version of, what was I going to say, at least make a version of, in this case, bark for poodle, or for not for poodle, but for collie. Okay, system.out.println and woof.
So when you see extends, it means collie is inheriting from dog.
Yes.
Dog.
No, it doesn't need to be an abstract class. Okay? Dog could be a concrete class. Okay? Now I'll just see something here. It's giving me an error, but I'll just check what error it is. And it's okay, it's built successfully. Just run that. Okay, now now I'll go back to the main. Okay? And what I'll do here is as follows. Okay? Is, let's just say collie A is equal to new collie. Okay? Obviously, we've no constructor at all set up. Okay? So collie A is equal to new. So I'll just even run this and see if it compiles, which it does. Yeah?
Here, look an object like collie.
Sorry?
You're making an object there, collie, new collie.
Yes, exactly. That's instantiating. Okay, but again, i.e. making an object of type collie. Okay? Now, what also it does is this, is a dot, by the use of the operator, okay, it will allow me to get at, what was I going to say, the functionality of, what was I going to say, a dot bark. It will allow me to get the functionality of whatever object it is. So in this case, it's collie. So, but also it will also allow me to get at a dot walk. Right? Now, if you remember rightly, okay, a dot walk, and I'll just change something here. Walk, okay, the dog walks. I don't have a version of, what was I going to say, I don't have a version of walk in collie. It's all being it's being inherited from dog. Okay? But the, what was I going to say, the dog walks and so forth like that.
You know what I found hard to get my head around, maybe this doesn't make any sense, is, you know, the way you set up a class first and then an object. Like, how come in Java, I know it probably sounds stupid, but wouldn't you think you'd set up an object first? I suppose it doesn't matter which way you do it, but that you'd set up the object first and then the class.
No. Well, you know, the class is the template. The class is the template.
Yeah.
Right? So you kind of need to set up that template first. And then kind of, you know what I mean? Like, are you saying, like, yeah, object-oriented is a big kind of concept getting, okay, where you're kind of saying, we're kind of treating it in a backward fashion, all right? I understand where you're getting at that we should get the logic of what we want done proper, and then, like, you know, create the small bits of it. But it does work. What was I going to say, that you do need to kind of, there is a bit of lateral thinking in it, okay?
Yeah.
But I'll just run this anyway first. Yeah.
As you said, it's working back, you know, backwards.
Yes, yeah, you are kind of working backwards in a way, okay? But you can see here we do get at Okay, in this case there, okay, walk. If I go into here, woof woof, and if I just make this in collie. Okay, now also note that it's override. Okay, woof woof and collie. So if I run this, okay, and there go, woof woof and collie, and the dog walks. Okay, so the whole notion of an abstract class. Okay, now I could do this. I could actually do this. Okay, is as follows: is delete this and boink, and wait on a second. Sorry, there now. Okay, I could have it as being as a concrete method, but leaving the class as abstract. Okay, if I did that, okay, there is one thing that I can't do anyway, is if even if the class is abstract, dog B is equal to new dog. Okay, there's a problem. If the class is anyway abstract, I cannot instantiate it at all. Dog is abstract, cannot be instantiated. Okay, in other words, it's saying that this is a class, even though in this case now, there's no abstract methods in it. An abstract class is basically there for extension. It's basically there so that the next user will extend onto it, will implement their own implementation. But by right, realistically, an abstract class should include at least one abstract method. Okay, and obviously that abstract spelled correctly, and get rid of that. Okay, and there. Right, now, I'm not going to go on tonight about the whole notion of polymorphism, but I will show one example of it. Okay, and I'll just go to here, is as follows. If I can go back to here, and this. Dog B is equal to new collie. Okay. Now I don't know if you covered it, but okay. B dot, okay, bark, okay, but also then B dot walk. Oh, sorry, B dot walk. Now I'll do another example of it in time, but the real reason why, okay, that what was I going to say, that you do this is that you want to get at overridden material. Okay, but this is a polymorphic example, and I'll go into it a bit. I just want to run this and see if it will run. It will. Okay, but basically I will show an example of it in another example. I'll actually do one very, very quick one here. Okay, is that if I have, okay, I just want to do public public void do something. Okay, and whoops, sorry there now. I better stop now after this. Dog does something. Okay, public void do something. Now, okay, now if I did this, okay, copy, and if I go into collie, and then let's say if I paste it into there, okay, we're going to hit a problem, okay, because it's actually overriding, okay, add override annotation, right? Basically, okay, I'll show you now what the example of this now allows you to do. Okay, collie does something, okay, and if I go into here, okay, dog B is equal to new collie. Now you might think that if I go in here, B dot do something, okay. Now this is a particular certification question, is that what will this do something do? Okay, if I did, okay, let's say if I did this, okay, I'll just get rid of these lines up here for just a split second. Okay, sorry no, right, dog B is equal to new collie, but if I made that dog, okay, obviously we can't instantiate that, but if I did this collie, okay, we do have a method in dog for do something, but and it has the exact, it's been overridden in another one, but basically if I do this, Okay, it grabs access to the collie method rather than the other one. Okay, now I'll go through that in more detail at another point in time. Okay, so what was I going to say? The main thing is this though, is what does an abstract class do and what's its purpose? Its purpose really is that, okay, in order to make it abstract, or not abstract, but basically if you have an abstract class, you're basically saying is that we have a lot of the functionality, but we don't have 100% of it, and we can mark that functionality that we're unsure of as being abstract. In other words, we know that a dog or any of its subclasses should have something to do with bark, okay? But what we need to do obviously is say we're not 100% sure about that. We're going to make it abstract. If you want to use the rest of the functionality, you have to extend this class and implement your interpretation of bark. Okay?
Yeah, I get.
It's kind of like it's a contract of sorts. Okay? So I'll just stop videoing there. Okay?